everybody, and welcome to Moms on a Mission. We would love to share with you one of our amazing partners. It's an incredibly effective and toxin-free skincare line we have found with organic body essentials. Our friend Vicki Natali has an engineering background, owned a device company, and just could not find a thoroughly clean organic skincare line, so she created one, Organic Body Essentials. Miriam and I absolutely love her products, and by using them, you're supporting our show, Moms on a Mission podcast, which is not free. And secondly, you are promoting the company of a like-minded believer. If you are blessed by what you hear and you want to help us out and support Moms on a Mission podcast, go to organicbodyessentials.com and use the code MISSION. That's organicbodyessentials.com, code MISSION, and you'll receive 5% off. And if you order more than $50 or more, you'll receive free shipping. Also, we want to hear from you. Go to our website at momsonamission.net. There you're going to find out more information about the podcast. You'll see the latest episodes. We also want you to drop us a line. We want to hear questions. We just got a message from a listener up in Wisconsin. We were so happy to hear from her. We love hearing from you guys across the country. So go to moms@momsonamission.net. That's moms@momsonamission.net. And probably most importantly, please follow us on your favorite platform.
Our amazing guest today did not settle for just going to college, starting a family, and raising great children. She saw a problem with indoctrination in education and decided to do something about it. She had already taught school and pioneered after-school Bible clubs in elementary schools for over 20 years. So she was ready in 2021 to found Save Our Schools America. Welcome to Moms on a Mission podcast, Karen Moran. Hi, Karen, and welcome to Moms on a Mission.
Hi, thank you for having me today. I'm excited about telling people what they can do to help the kids.
Well, great, Karen. We're so glad to have you on. So just let's get started and have you tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm a mom. I've been married for a gazillion years, and I have 3 girls and 9 grandchildren, and I was a former school teacher. I also started light clubs in the public elementary schools for over 20 years and trained people on how to do clubs. And then during COVID, things got kind of closed down. And I started, I just had a thought one day to kind of check out the school board at the meetings. So I started watching the meetings, and I realized that they were into critical race theory and started teaching things that were really, really bad. And then I started talking to people, and one lady showed me a book. She was a librarian in a school, and I found out the book was for kids 4 to 8 years old, and it was teaching them that they could be a boy or a girl or neither. And I was so outraged. I talked with my local congressman and got together with a lady who was used to going up to Tallahassee, and she said, well, this is what you need to do. And so I made a folder and went up there and talked to different congressmen and let them know what was going on with these books. And they were going, OMG, we had no idea that this was going on. So then I also went to the education committee meeting and spoke out before that, and also told them about the sex education classes that were going on. And there was even a class on how to, are there any children listening to this, by the way?
Cover their ears if there are, but typically no. Typically no.
Okay. Well, one of the topics that this girl was subjected to in her sex education class was how to give oral sex to your partner.
And what grade was this, Karen? What grade was this?
She was 15. This was high school. This wasn't elementary. This was high school. And then they had another class on putting the steps in order to leading up to an orgasm and having, so I told them about that, and also this book that I was telling you about. They had 113 copies of that throughout the elementary schools in Palm Beach County. And then there was another book called When Aiden Became a Brother. It's about a little girl that decided to transgender to become a boy. And these books were in their library. There were 112 copies of that book. And so I just I said, well, I got to do something. So that's when I started the Save Our Schools America, and we started having monthly meetings. I started having people that were running for different school board positions and other positions. And so I just got people coming together, and we started, raising awareness of what was going on. And then what happened with the book is I kept thinking, well, the kids need to know the Bill of Rights. And so I thought, well, I know this illustrator. I think I'm going to have her illustrate the Bill of Rights for me. And then a week or so later, I thought, well, you know what? I think they need to know the Declaration of Independence too. So, and then a couple of weeks later, it was like, well, you know what? They really need to know the whole Constitution. So I started, doing all this stuff. I'd get downloads of ideas in the middle of the night. And so then all of a sudden I thought, well, we need to add the Pledge of Allegiance in this book. And I didn't even know it was a book until I kept getting ideas like, we've got to have the songs like God Bless America and America the Beautiful and Star Spangled Banner. And then one day I just woke up and thought, oh my gosh, this is a book. So that's kind of how it happened. And since then, I've been getting downloads on curriculum and actually making the visuals. And having been a kindergarten and first grade teacher, I was used to making all kinds of stuff anyway. So we're still making stuff. We now have a Bill of Rights packet. We have a Declaration of Independence packet, and we have a whole curriculum packet that has all kinds of goodies in it, including the book and lots of visuals that we're making. And this week, we're actually working on coloring sheets with each of the 10 amendments. So we're going to have all of those together in a packet that, teachers can teach one amendment at a time. And we've got instructions on how to teach the different packets and everything, what to do. One of the things I recommend in my book, which I don't know whether any of you've seen it, but
yes, U.S. Constitution for Kids.
Yes. Well, one of the sections that I recommend reading first is a section in the book called Understanding the Constitution, so that when you're a homeschool mom or a teacher, whatever, you'll have the idea behind why they wrote the Constitution the way they wrote it, what led them to put the things in the Constitution that are there, and what problems did that solve by having those different concepts in the Constitution. So there's a lot to it, and there's a lot more in the book than just the part for parents to teach children or homeschoolers. There's in the back of it, we've got the Declaration, the actual original Declaration of Independence. We've got the original Constitution, and even George Washington's farewell address is in there too. So it's a lot more, and it's beautifully illustrated. I just had a very talented illustrator that illustrated all the pictures in the book, and so it's all in color. I insisted on it being in color, even though it's a lot more pricey to do a color book, but it just couldn't be black and white. There was no way.
Well, I just have to say, and we're going to talk about your book, U.S. Constitution for Kids, towards the end of the show. But I just have to say right now that it is for everyone. I was reading about it, and really it's for parents, grandparents, kids, teachers, legislators. I mean, it's for everyone. So I was so excited to get it because I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to have my son read it in addition to all the other reading I have him do. But I wanted to just point out that you are in Palm Beach, Florida, and you're in a very, very red state. And I think it's so interesting that in a very, very red state that you found very, very disturbing transgender issues and inappropriate books in lots of schools there. So I think it's incredibly important for parents to look at the kids' curriculum, look at these books, and then also go to these school board meetings. I mean, even if you have, little ones in tow, if it's once a month, maybe go to every other school board meeting and get a babysitter. I mean, it's important that everybody gets involved and all hands are on deck. But and speaking to that, getting involved, I just wanted to ask you, what was the determining point for you to pull the trigger? I know a lot of parents say, oh, I hate this. I hate that these books are there, but I'm just one person. I can't do anything. I know that you're probably an empty nester at this point, obviously, of grandchildren. So you have probably a bit more time than if moms have little ones and so on and so forth. But even still then, some people are just like, oh, I can't do that, or I don't want to get involved, or I don't want to, have a target on my back. I mean, what made you be bold and then take action and pull the trigger?
Well, I think that as far as going up to Tallahassee, it was that book where the little Alex comes down off the school bus, and it says, "This is Alex. He is both a boy and a girl." And on the next page, it said, "This is JJ. JJ is neither a boy nor a girl." And so that just got me so irate that I thought, well, I've got to do something about this. And I had already been listening to the school board. I started listening online, which anybody can do, by the way. And if you just want to know what's going on, I'm assuming that all school boards tape their meetings. Ours are all taped, so you can go online, and I would recommend that. You get started, find out what's going on, find out what you're really passionate and upset about. Like last month, I found out they were trying to remove the Bible from all our school libraries. And so then I sent out an alert, and we all went together, and a bunch of us showed up and spoke out on behalf of the Bible and how we should keep it there. And of course, they all voted to keep it in there because they're against book banning, but they didn't want to ban even the bad books. So they allowed the Bible as well. But if we have to know what's going on. And I just recommend, get on your website and find out. And then the meetings are usually once a month, on a certain day of the month, a certain time. And then workshops might be a couple hours earlier, and you can sign up to speak. In our particular county, you have to sign up by noon the day of the meeting, and you can speak for 3 minutes. And then you can also speak twice if you want to, once on a non-agenda item and once on an agenda item. And the agendas are published usually at least a week before the meeting, so you can go online and print out the agenda, see what they're going to be talking about. So that's
Karen, what you're describing is just perfect. It's a grassroots organization. And sometimes I think for a lot of us, we talk about this on the show a lot. It's been uncomfortable for many of us that sit on this side of more conservative Judeo-Christian values that we want in our school. So what you're describing is a mom, a teacher, a grandmother who heard something that she didn't like that was alarming and decided to take action. And that is what you've been doing. And I think what you're describing is, yes, you're a teacher, you have a background in this, but you're not a legislator. You're not totally involved in government. You just decided to go down to Tallahassee and try to talk to some people that would want to hear what you had to say. So I really, really commend you for that. And as we start a new school year, this week, we're talking to a lot of educators. And as we start a new school year, it's important for parents to hear this kind of encouragement, because they're going to be facing things that bother them. They're going to be seeing some of these books. They're going to be faced with CRT and just curriculum that doesn't line up with their values. And if you don't make your voices heard, it's not going to be heard, and it's not going to be changed. The other side's, like we've said before, a well-oiled machine. They know how to community organize. They've been doing it for a long time. And it's time that our group does the same thing. And that's what you're doing. And so I would like to ask you, what resources can parents and grandparents find? I know you mentioned some of the books, but when they go to saveourschoolsamerica.com, what could you highlight for us there?
Well, there are some resources on there, good resources to use with your kids, conservative resources. But then there are articles and different things you can read on, like CRT and stuff like that, of what's going on. But I want to back up for 1 second and mention one thing about, if you're going to show up at the school board, I recommend writing out what you're going to say and practice it. Because at our school board, you want to make sure you get everything in there. And if you practice it, you're going to get your full 3 minutes without them cutting you off. Because in our school board, 3 minutes, they cut the mic off and you can't say another word. So I just would recommend be prepared, be ready, and know what you're going to say and how you're going to say it.
Yeah, we've experienced being cut off.
Yes. But again, when you go together, there's power in
That's
numbers.
true too.
And so I encourage you to also bring a friend. So when they go to your website, they can, what you're saying is not only are they educated about products that you have, but also they can learn about critical race theory and what that means and things like that.
Well, there are two different websites. The Saber School America is more about learning information like on critical race theory and that. My website, Karen-Moran.com, is has all the information on the U.S. Constitution for Kids curriculum, and actually is what parents can use at home with their kids, teaching them about our government and how it runs, and have an understanding of it. So there are two different things. The purchasing is on Karen-Moran.com.
So talk to us about how you develop these things. I know you said you developed one at a time, but where did you go? Did you just go and take the original resource and then the Holy Spirit just gave you a way to change the information so that it was, because since you taught kindergarten and first grade, to make it more palatable and understanding, or under that kids can understand it? Is it because you were a teacher and it was just easy for you? How did you do that?
Well, for one thing, I decided to take the original and to make sure that I got everything that was really vitally important to be said, but paraphrase it in a way that obviously a kindergarten child or a first grader or an elementary school child is not going to be able to read those big words. In fact, I've had many parents tell me, or actually even grandparents and elderly people say, golly, when I read your book, I can understand the Constitution because I put it in a language that anybody can understand. And so there was, I got a lot of my ideas in the middle of the night. It's like I would get these downloads. I would see a picture, like for instance, the picture of this. I saw this. I saw what it needed to have on it. And then kind of the same thing as I've been, like I would tell the illustrator, well, this is kind of what I see for this amendment, you know. And so we started with the amendments, but then as we started adding things, of course, we've got the songs. You know, I grew up singing God Bless America, America the Beautiful, and saying the pledge. So the graphic artists would go ahead and depict those things that were mentioned in the book throughout the book. So that's kind of how it happened. It just and I'm still getting stuff. Let me just show you this. We just got this week. This is what I told her. I said, I want some coloring sheets on the amendment.
Oh, I love those.
So far we have a coloring sheet for Amendment 1. And this is taken from the book. This is the design that's in the book, but we're going to have 10 of them, and they're going to come out real soon. They're going to go in the Declaration of Independence packet. And then there's going to be a sheet on how to teach this packet to the kids, some ideas of fun ways to teach it. And of course, having been a kindergarten teacher and having taught after Bible school clubs, you know, I'm continually getting ideas. But, you know, I thought about it might be nice to have, as people start using the curriculum and they get ideas like, this is a game we did and this is what we made, and then, you know, have them contact me and I can put it like on our blog, give the ideas out to moms as they're actually teaching their kids and kind of share with one another.
It'd be kind of cool for you to make some song. I mean, no pressure. I'm not telling you or the Holy Spirit what to do for sure, but
I've already thought of that. Oh yeah,
like, I got you.
Because, you know, as a kindergarten teacher, you know, obviously, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Learn by song.
That's right.
Every kid learn their ABCs, at least how to say them by a song. And of course, I don't know, in Florida, there's a very strong movement of homeschool moms using classical conversations, and a lot of the stuff that's being taught is being taught by song. So I've already thought of that. I thought about teaching the amendments by songs and everything, and I don't know whether I haven't even spoke to my daughter about it, but she was a vocal performance major in college.
Oh my gosh.
And I have a granddaughter that's very talented with, she says, I keep getting these songs, And so I thought, well, maybe she'll get some ideas, or moms out there might get some ideas. That's what the people in classical conversations do. I mean, different people get different ideas how to teach different concepts, like the prepositions. There's a real cute one. My granddaughter, when she was 3, she could sing all the prepositions because it was in a song.
Yeah, so, kids love to learn by song.
And then you basically you teach the main idea. Like, for instance, this said, now this is just a part of what's on that page in the book, but it's the main part. And like the main part could be, memorized and not all the detail of the whole page, but it says freedom of religion, speech, press, right to assemble peacefully, and to petition the government. And so, that's just a small part. But you figured if you can put all that into a song, they'll learn it like that.
Yes. And they're just like, why do you think kids learn they can learn 2 or 3 languages? Their minds are like sponges, which is why true. The left and the Marxists want to indoctrinate the kids, because they're so malleable, their brains and their minds, and they will learn and believe anything. I mean, they just
we have to put good stuff in.
Yeah.
And Karen, I can tell how much passion you have. I mean, you are doing what God has commanded you to do. You can just see it when you talk about your curriculum, when you show it, and it looks amazing. I hope that it's wildly successful. And on that note, what kind of response have you been getting so far? I mean, it hasn't been out too long, I guess. And is it mostly for homeschool families?
We had our book signing June 24th. And so we're doing real well. We just started adding the curriculum to the website too. So we're waiting to see what kind of response we start getting with the website. But I got a call from a woman last night. She said that her friend, there's a Christian school, and she thinks that they would like to buy 100 books and put them in their Christian school. So, I mean, right there. So, I mean, if we start getting a few schools and a few big things like that, I mean, it could really be amazing.
Well, we're going to be praying that happens and spread the word here in Oklahoma.
Yes.
I think we have a huge homeschool population, and also we have some private schools that need to buy more biblically based curriculum. So, yeah.
Do you have any plans for future, like any ideas in addition to some of the songs and things like that? Do you have any other further ideas? And also, what are your thoughts about disseminating? I mean, you'd like it to go nationally, right? And have
yes, I definitely would, because I think every kid needs to know all this stuff. What I had planned on doing when I started doing this book. For instance, I've been part of an education committee that was reading textbooks up in Tallahassee, Florida. But I noticed on their different guidelines, they were wanting to put back good curriculum into the schools. And there were a lot of symbols that have been taken out of our books. So I purposely thought, okay, when we did this book, I said, these symbols that were mentioned in that, I thought, now let's put these symbols in the book. Let them see, the eagle, Florida, the United States is the Eagle Nation, and the Liberty Bell. And so throughout the book is sprinkled all these symbols that we've basically taken out. When I read those textbooks, that were actually going into our school, the civics textbooks, I was very surprised how depressing the work was. There was no inspiration. It was America's bad. And in 5 chapters, there were 187 references to slavery and enslavement. So it was trying to teach kids that basically our country was founded on slavery, and that's why it was successful, because we won it off the back of all these slaves, and just a lot of information that was absolutely true, untrue. Even Thanksgiving, the story about Thanksgiving, they distorted. I mean,
that's a big one.
Out of 59 books that we looked at, we rejected 57 of them.
Karen,
that's how bad it is.
Are you serious? Like, that's like almost
like 100%. 90.
Wow.
I'm not a mathematician.
Yeah, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. 90-something%. Yes.
Wow.
These were textbooks that we read that they either needed to be completely gutted or, could not be used the way they were.
I'm sure glad you were on that committee.
And
I'm really
talk to me about that committee. Like, what is that committee? Who formed it, and how could moms seek out a committee like that if they wanted?
Well, that's a good question. I'm friends with and partners with Florida Citizens Alliance, and they were the ones who asked me to be on the committee. There were other people from around the country that were partners with them that they asked to be on the committee, and so they set it up, and they gave us the books, and we read them, and we gave our review, and all that information went back to the Department of Education for the state of Florida.
So it sounds like another way. The Department of Education has some type of connection with them. I wonder if they could reach out to this committee and see, maybe they would know nationally if there were other
organizations in other states
like that.
Or reach out to your Department of Education in your state, the state superintendent, who we're getting ready to have on our show.
Yeah.
Reach out to these people that are your elected officials, because they should be able to answer those questions. And I think what Karen did with this group, Florida Citizen Alliance, is a good just reminder to parents, again, as we head back to school in the next few weeks. Take a look at those textbooks.
Yes.
Ask to bring them home, or go into, if they're not bringing them home, because so many of them don't, everything's on Google Classroom or computers.
Some of it's sneaky too. Like they only gave us access to the books. They did not give us access to the videos. So we did not get to see what the kids are actually seeing and the propaganda that they were being taught by video. We only had the book. So I can imagine the additional information that they were putting on the videos. And we're going to, in the future, request that we get access to those videos as well.
I think legally they would have to show that to
you. I think that's under the Parental Bill of Rights. And that's not been enacted federally, but I think, Ron DeSantis has done such a great job in Florida. I'm sure he's passed something to let parents be able to see whatever they want.
But I do want to agree with you, Karen, and encourage our listeners to look at their kids' textbooks and also their seat work, because sometimes there is a woke worksheet that's pulled off the web. I mean, my son brought that home to me. Mm-hmm. Columbus was just defiled, basically, and he was called, said that he was, a bad man, and he committed genocide, and it was just completely erroneous, not based on primary sources. And so in a Christian school, that made my guard go up. And so he's a junior this year, I plan to look at every textbook. I plan to review them all and take the time to do that, because our job, our assignment from God is to train up a child in the way he should go. When he's old, he will not depart from it. It's our responsibility. It's not the schools. It's not the government. And so we have got to look at these textbooks. And if you find that your state superintendent doesn't even have an alliance like this, but is conservative and does believe in primary sources being taught, maybe we could use, this alliance, the Florida, what is it called again?
Florida Citizens Alliance.
Yeah, Florida Citizens Alliance. Maybe like we're in Oklahoma.
Yes, I do know. I think that they do want to reach out nationally to people, because Florida has been very successful in going so far. Now, right now, they've just recommended to the school boards that they not use this curriculum unless it's changed. I see the school board still has the final say, and depending on your school board, we put up 4 conservative Christian candidates to run this last time, and all 4 of them lost. We are a very liberal county in Florida. Now, there are a lot of counties that are more conservative, and they actually flipped during this last election. but ours did not. And I'm in the same county where President Trump lives.
Yes,
Palm Beach.
So,
Well, we put up very conservative
County.
candidates, and all of ours lost too.
Well, one of them. We got,
one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
sorry.
she's taken so much heat.
Yeah.
It has been a nightmare watching what she's had to go through. So you're not done when you get them elected. You got to keep supporting those candidates. But Karen,
absolutely.
we're so thankful that you were on the show today, especially as we start a new school year. The work you're doing is amazing. And again, we remind our audience to go to Karen-Moran.com. And that's to order your kids' history books.
That's MORAN, Karen MORAN, Moran.com.
And then also
right. It's a dash or a hyphen.
Okay.
Yeah, hyphen.
Maybe a hyphen. That'd
Yes,
probably be
yeah,
better.
yeah.
Yeah. So Karen.
It's not underscore. It's, Make sure
Karen,
you put hyphen or dash.
And only a school teacher would be able to tell me to say it like that. I love it. So
the details matter.
Yes.
Details matter. And also saveourschools.com. And as Karen says, unless we teach our younger generation.
Save Our Schools America.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
saveourschools.america.com. Okay. Unless we teach our younger generations the truth about America, we will lose both our country and our children. And that was a quote by Karen.
Yes.
So, and we would also love to hear from you, our audience. So check us out again at momsonamission.net, momsonamission.net. And please leave us a line, a question, a comment about this show or shows that you've watched previously. And that's moms@momsonamission.net, moms@momsonamission.net.
And please, please, please don't forget to follow us on your favorite platform.
Moms on a Mission is excited to partner with our friends at MyPillow. According to sleep experts and sleephealth.org, over 50 million Americans struggle to get a good night's rest. That's where MyPillow comes in. They make the best pillows, sheets, mattresses, and mattress toppers. Several years ago, I was having trouble falling and staying asleep due to neck and shoulder pain. Luckily, I heard an ad about MyPillow and decided to give it a try. After 3 or 4 days, I really began to feel a difference. I was sleeping better and my neck and shoulders felt so much better. MyPillow really does help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. Moms on a Mission wants you to get a great night's rest too. Go to mypillow.com right now and use the promo code MISSION for up to 66% off your purchase. MyPillow products are made in America and have a 60-day money-back guarantee and lifetime warranty. Remember, go to mypillow.com, put in the special code MISSION for your special Moms on a Mission discount. Thank you and God bless.
Hey guys, it's Moms on a Mission here. Are you worried about your financial stability and protecting the money for which you worked so hard? The problem is stock market volatility and inflation. You may be wondering what you can do to preserve your family's wealth. We at Moms on a Mission encourage you to reach out to our friend Andrew Sorcini with Beverly Hills Precious Metals. Andrew is the expert in educating you to help you find the right balance of gold and silver for your family portfolio. He made it so easy for me to add precious metals to my financial investments. I simply mailed a check to Beverly Hills Precious Metals and my silver showed up on my doorstep a few days later. It was so easy. Go to bh-pm.com to save a little money and tell them that Moms on a Mission sent you. That's bh-pm.com. Don't wait. Protect your wealth today by going to bh-pm.com and tell them that Moms on a Mission sent you.